Hello and welcome to the tutorial for the Stella Mini Tote. This video accompanies the Stella Mini Tote sewing pattern that you can find on my website. So if you haven't yet purchased the pattern, you can find it in the link in the description. Not already familiar, the Stella Mini Tote is this quilted mini handbag. It has short straps that are actually attached on the outside, which is a little bit different. And then it has a magnetic closure, a small pocket on the inside, and then a little keychain. It also has a detachable over the shoulder strap. The bag is quilted using either Annie's Soft and Stable or Pellon Fusible Flex Foam. I also know there's a couple other foam options out there, but I think the Pellon and the Annie's are probably the most two popular and the most widely available. I prefer Annie's Soft and Stable because it's easier to iron and it's just softer working with it. But the Pellon Fusible Flex Foam is available in Hobby Lobby, so that makes it a lot more accessible. The bag foam gives this bag a really clean and professional finish, which is awesome, especially because this is a very beginner-friendly pattern. This bag takes me about 2 hours to complete, so it's a relatively quick sew. It's something that you can start and finish within one day or just a couple short sessions. This video tutorial is meant to accompany the written instructions that come in the Stella Mini Tote sewing pattern. So if there's any areas you feel like you need more help on, I would recommend checking the written instructions, and if you can't find it there, just message me. One thing I didn't use in this video that I recommend in the written instructions is interfacing for the handles. I'm going to let you know what the difference is right now. You can do it without the interfacing. These straps are just not going to stand up on their own. So if you prefer that the straps hang down like this when you're using the shoulder strap, then I would recommend you do not use interfacing. If you want the straps to stay upright like this when you're not holding on to them, then I recommend you use the interfacing. I just use a featherweight or a sheer weight because you will be folding it over like 4 times. So anyways, yeah, but this bag isn't huge. You're not going to be like filling it with rocks or anything. So the straps don't really need to be like that stable or that thick. It would be just fine like this. Anyways, that's the bag, and let's get into making the bag. Okay, so like always, we're starting with a little bit of basting spray just to attach our fabric to the Annie's Soft and Stable. If you're using fusible bag foam, you can just skip this step and use the iron instead. Or you can always just pin it on. It's really not a big deal. I just prefer to use basting spray. Then we're going to move right into quilting our fabric. So I'm using a laser quilting light here to measure out 1-inch increments, but you can always just mark it with the Hera marker or in heat erasable pen. And after I have both of my main panels quilted, I'm going to go ahead and use my pattern piece to cut them out. If you already cut them out prior to quilting, that's totally fine too. I do it both ways, and I really don't have an issue either way. Then after you have them cut and quilted, you're going to take both of your main panels and you're going to put them right sides facing, and we're going to sew along that bottom edge first. So just pin it in place, and then we're sewing along that bottom edge with a 3/8 inch seam allowance straight across. Just make sure you backstitch at the beginning and end. And then before moving on to the side seams, we're going to open this up, take it over to our iron, and we're going to press this bottom seam open because this is really the only time you're going to be able to press it super flat. Okay, then you're going to take both of your side seams, pin them together, and then you're going to sew along those with a 3/8 inch seam allowance as well. And just a reminder, our stitch length is at about 2.5 millimeters. Okay, then we're going to box out the bottom corners. So you're just going to open it up like this and then align those side seams, press open the seams, put a pin or a clip right there, and we're just going to sew straight across, again with a 3/8 inch seam allowance, which is the same as 1 centimeter. You're going to do that on both sides. And then once you've done that, you've pretty much finished the outer portion of the bag. So you're just going to turn it right sides out, and then I just go ahead and take it over to the ironing board and press those side seams open once. Then we're going to get started on our lining. We're going to take both of our pocket pieces and place them right sides together, and then just place a couple pins or clips, and we're going to take it to the sewing machine and sew all the way around all 4 sides of it with a 3/8 inch seam allowance. And somewhere along the way, you're just going to leave a little 1-inch gap. Make sure to backstitch at the beginning and end of the gap. And I'm using black thread here so that you can see it more clearly, but you should probably use one that matches. And we're just going to turn that right side out using that little hole we left in the lining. And then just use something dull like a This is a mechanical pencil without the lead. And we're just going to poke those corners out so that they are nice and sharp. And then you're just going to take it over to your iron, give those seams a good press, and then we are going to close up this little hole in the lining. And then we're going to move on to a top stitch. So for top stitch, you're going to increase your stitch length to 3.5 millimeters. And we're just going to go all the way across one of the long sides of the bag, or the pocket. For me, I'm choosing to go side opposite of where I just closed that gap. And then we're just going to fold it in half, hamburger style, and we are going to just finger press the middle so we can get a good crease of where the center is. Then we're going to take our lining panel, which also has been marked for the center, and we're going to place the pocket about 3 inches down from the top. We're going to pin it in place, and then we're just going to start at the right side. We're going to sew down and all the way around up until we get back to the top of the pocket. Just remember to return your stitch length to 2.5 millimeters. Moving on to our keychain piece here, I've already pre-pressed it. Basically what it is though is you just press the piece in half and then you fold the right and left edge into the center. Then you fold it in half again and you're pressing along all of these steps. And then you're just going to sew the open edge closed with an 1/8 inch seam allowance. And you're going to thread that through one of your swivel hooks. And then you're just going to sew that little edge down there with about an 1/8 to 1/4 inch seam allowance. It's not really a big deal. I just like to go back and forth a couple of times. And then you're going to line that up with the top of the pocket on the edge of the lining and just sew that in place with an 1/8 inch seam allowance as well. Then we're going to grab our other lining panel and we're going to put them right sides facing, and we're just going to pin or clip all the way around. When you get to the side over here, you want to make sure that your keychain is inside of the lining. And then we're going to take it to our sewing machine and we're going to pretty much do the same thing we did with the outer panels. You're going to sew all the way around the sides and the bottom with a 3/8 inch seam allowance. The only difference is you will leave about a 5 inch gap on the bottom. Before we move on to boxing the corners, we're going to add the magnetic snap closure because it's easiest to do right now. So both of your lining panels should have the center line marked. Then you'll need the backing pieces and the actual magnetic snaps. With the backing piece, you're going to line it up in the center about 2 inches down from the top of the bag. And then I'm just using a regular pen here because we're not going to be able to see it. But you're just going to mark in those little holes on the right and left, and that's where the prongs of your magnetic snap is going to go, or are going to go. And then you're going to grab a seam ripper and just make sure that your lining panels are both lined up flat, and you're going to just make 2 little tiny holes where you mark that. You're going through both sides there. And then we're just going to take our magnetic snaps and we are going to put the prongs in, make sure that they're going the right way, and then place the backing on and fold them over just like that. Do both sides and then they should line up perfectly. And all you have to do is box the corners the same way we did on the outside. And with your lining inside out and the outer piece of your bag right side out, you're going to place the outer bag inside the lining, and then you're going to line up these edge seams here and you're just going to pin or clip those in place, and then you are going to pin all the way around the opening of the bag. This might be a little bit of a tight fit, but it should fit. And again, just make sure you have your lining inside out here and your bag right sides out. This actually makes it so that the right sides of both of the panels are facing each other. Then over to our sewing machine, we're going to sew all the way around the opening of the bag with a 3/8 inch seam allowance, just like we've done on the rest of it. Okay, then we're just going to take our bag and we're going to flip it inside out through that gap we left in the lining. Just be careful here, the foam is a little bit bulky, but just go slow and it should be totally fine. Then you have your bag. It looks pretty good at this point. We're going to take the lining and we're going to fold it in. I'm going around and pinning it with some clips. And then you're going to take it to your iron and you're going to press it really well along that top edge to keep that foam seam allowance nice and flat. Okay, then we are going to go back to the sewing machine, and this time with a 1/4 inch seam allowance and a 3.5mm stitch length, we are going to top stitch all the way around the bag to keep that seam allowance in place and keep the lining nice and flat inside. And the only thing we have left to do is the handles, and our bag will be complete. So for the handles, you are going to lay them wrong sides up. You're going to fold it in half and press it, and then you're going to fold both of the edges in towards the middle and press those down. And then you're going to fold that whole thing in half one more time and press it. To finish the ends, you're going to open it up, and then you're going to fold both of the ends in about a 1/4 inch, and then fold it in half again, and then all of the edges should be completely finished. For the D-ring tabs, I'm just showing you here that you're going to be folding those in half hamburger style to begin with, not hot dog like the rest of the pieces, and then following those same steps. So just folding them in towards the center and folding them in half, and then we'll have all of our straps here. Make sure you finish the ends on all of those pieces as well by folding them in a 1/4 inch and then pressing them in half. And then you're going to sew along the open edge of all of these pieces with an 1/8 inch seam allowance. And then you're going to flip them over and you're going to sew along the other edge of the strap with an 1/8 inch seam allowance as well. If you'd like, you can add an extra row of stitching down the center of this piece. I actually did choose to do that, I just didn't show it here in the video, but it's completely optional. It will add a little bit of strength to the strap, but mostly it's just for looks. Then we're going to get our D-rings and our D-ring tabs ready to put on the bag. So you're just going to thread the tab through the D-ring, and I'm just going to use a clip to put this in, hold this in place. And then at the sewing machine, I am going to just tack this down with a basting stitch, like just 3 stitches. A basting stitch means that your stitch length is at the longest setting, which for me is a 4, and you don't backstitch at the beginning or end. Here I'm just taking some pins and I'm pinning that lining down so that it's nice and flat on the inside, because we're going to be sewing through all layers of the bag and we don't want that lining getting bunched up. So basically I'm just holding it down with the pins where it's supposed to be. And then with our D-ring, you're going to line it up so that the top of the D-ring is flush with the top of the bag. And then you are going to pin that in place, centered with the side seams. And this is honestly the hardest part of this bag, just because you're going through so much fabric and foam. But we're going to sew with an 1/8 inch seam allowance along the perimeter of this D-ring tab here, and I'm going to show you once I get it finished. I've switched to a light blue thread here, so you should be able to see it pretty well against the black fabric. Like I said, it's a little bit tricky, but just go slow and you should be just fine. When you get to the corner, all you have to do is leave your needle down and then lift your presser foot and then pivot the bag underneath. And then you can put your presser foot back down and continue sewing until you get to the next corner. That's how you sew like a sharp corner. So this is what we're working with here. It's just a square all the way along the edges of the D-ring. It's not complicated. You can do it. Now we're going to start working on our handles. So you're going to find the center of your bag. For me, I have a quilting line right in the center. And you're going to measure 3 inches out from that. And then you're going to clip or pin those in place. I first used clips, but then I switched it to pins because it's easier to sew around. And then we're going to do the same thing that we did on the D-ring tab. So we're just going to sew along the bottom of that handle strap
with an 1/8 inch seam allowance, up the sides with an 1/8 inch seam allowance, and along the top with an 1/8 inch seam allowance. It really doesn't have to be exact. You're just sewing a square along the bottom of the handle. The same goes for the placement of the straps. For me, I chose to do about 1 inch of overhang. So like my strap on the outside is about 1 inch down from the top of the bag. But if you want your straps to be a little bit shorter, you can put it farther down. Then we're just going to close up that gap in the lining and we are pretty much done. All we have to do is add our swivel hooks to our long over the shoulder strap. So just grab those 2 swivel hooks in your over the shoulder strap, and then you're going to thread that through, and we're just going to sew that end down. Like I said earlier, it should already be finished, so you don't have to worry about any raw edges here. Just go back and forth a couple times, make sure it's nice and secure, and then do the same thing on the other side. This is what it should be looking like right here. And then all you have to do is just clip it onto your bag and you are done.
So that's the finished bag. I hope you enjoyed making it and I hope this tutorial was easy enough for you to follow along with. If you have any questions, you can send me an email. That's probably the fastest way to reach me. Otherwise, you can message me on any of my social medias, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. I'd also love it if you would tag me in any post you make about your bags. I'd like to see what you guys make. Thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next one.